Welcome, everyone, as you're joining us this morning. I hope those of you are ready for another great day here at Succeed. I am here with Lewis Agnew, who is the COO of MyPT Hub. And Lewis is joined this morning by Dan Poulter, who's the owner and head coach at Fitness Business Coaching. We're going to let people filter in this morning. I'm super excited. I get to kind of take a break during the next couple hours, which is fantastic. Thank you to Lewis and his team at MyPT Hub. And they're going to kind of run with the show. So for those of you joining us today, welcome. I know as you're filtering in right now, we're excited to have these next two sessions by MyPT Hub, and of course, Dan with you as well. This one is fantastic. Lewis, I feel like you and I have been talking about it for quite some time. This is our fireside chat where Lewis and Dan are going to really kind of be talking through a lot of what you can expect, the top 10 pain points for personal trainers and how to overcome them. So guys, I'm not going to talk anymore. I know you've got a ton of information, so I am going to get out of here. I'm going to shut off my video and my microphone, and I'll let you guys run with it. So everyone, I know you're just filtering in, but enjoy this great fireside chat, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Josh. Much appreciated. So yeah, as Josh mentioned, this is our first session leading into the keynote, but this one I'm joined by Dan. We'll introduce ourselves a little bit more in a moment, a little bit of housekeeping first. This one, first of all, is around the top 10 pain points for personal trainers and how to overcome them. So the first things first is if you have any questions, please do feel free to put them into the chat at the bottom of your screen. I think it's down there, but yeah, feel free to ask those as we go. Oliver, which is, one of our marketing team from MyPT Hub, will be happy to help you with those, or alternatively, Dan and I will pick those up towards the end of the session. So first things first, as Josh mentioned, my name's Lewis Agnew. I'm the COO here at MyPT Hub. I've been with the company from day dot, one of the co-founders, and we've scaled substantially since 2015 to support over 130,000 fitness professionals and their businesses. Dan was one of our first coaches to join us. So yes, a huge, great thank you to Dan for supporting us throughout the way. And, we've grown as a company, and the product has grown, tenfold from what it was originally, to be one of the #1 rated apps on the personal training spectrum on Trustpilot, GetApp, and Capterra. Some of the biggest things that have been made that progression for us is first and foremost is the leading features that we have within the app. It is very comprehensive from start to finish, adding your clients to servicing them, whether you're a gym, an online trainer, a one-to-one trainer, whatever your business operations look like, we've got you covered. And some of the main features here that you can see is, our unlimited client count on this. So you can add as many clients as you want, and we won't charge you for that service. So as your business scales, we scale with you and we support you along the way. But that's a little bit about me and MyPT Hub. Dan.
Hey guys. So yeah, thank you for the intro. And I think just giving you a quick bit of context about where I'm at. So I've been a coach for 15 years and 13 of those were in person as a PT. So anyone right now that does personal training in the gym, I've been where you've been. And 2 years of those were employed in a gym, and then 11 of those were self-employed. I actually went self-employed at 20 years old and went straight into starting my business, and obviously everything that comes with that for you guys that are self-employed too. I went fully online with my fitness business in 2019. And prior to that, that's when I was using MyPT Hub while I was on the gym floor, transitioning, and then went fully online 4 years ago. At this point, I've coached over 1,000 clients online with fitness. And now at this point, I've mentored over 100 coaches inside FBC. And you can actually find us on Instagram at Fitness Business Coaching. And really, my mission is just to give personal trainers the tools they need to build their dream life doing what they love. And that's what's really important to me. And then on the next slide, you'll see a bit more about what we do. So I teach our clients how to attract the ideal customers. You don't want to be just working with anyone and everyone. You want to be working with the people that light you up and excite you on a daily basis. And we show our clients how to convert their audience into paying customers, install systems and processes into their business to operate at a high level, and then demonstrate how to deliver a 5-star service. You'll see a lot at the moment, guys, on the internet. I'm sure you've seen this about generating leads, making more money, making more sales. But I don't ever want the guys to lose sight of how to deliver that 5-star experience. And I haven't been told to say this. I use my PT Hub and have done for years. And that's all part of it, making sure that we give that 5-star experience. So, yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. So I think that leads us nicely on to the pain points for personal trainers, right? And how to overcome them. So we can identify different aspects, and as we go, we will be touching upon this sort of content strategy. So you'll be able to see here that from the gym floor in person, how do we make the transition to becoming what we call a hybrid trainer or a hybrid coach, right? So they've got a bit of both. So they've got a bit of gym floor work. Now, there might be one-to-one coaching that they do, that they want to move on to that online space, but haven't quite got there just yet. So you're in that hybrid sort of element. And then we move into the online space moving forward. But Dan, please take us through the top 3, if you wouldn't mind. First 3.
Yeah, so let's start with on the gym floor, guys. One of the first things I get the guys to do inside my program is start to focus their attention on the old way and understanding the old way, and then spending time and attention looking at the new way. And what I mean by that, to be specific, are packages are boring. So for anyone here, no offense if this is how you currently sell, it's how I used to sell personal training until I learned the new way. Your classic 4, 8 or 12 sessions. And the more people buy, the bigger discount they get. I'm sure everyone can relate. And the problem with that is that there is no focus on an outcome or an experience. It's essentially you kind of commoditize yourself and you just become somebody who's exchanging time for money. And the value is very much around the session if you sell it in the old way. Whereas the new way, the way that I recommend you sell, and the success that I had and then I've had with the guys inside FBC, is that I encourage them to sell a program. So a program is outcome based. So you have a problem, a promise, and a process. So write that down. So think about a problem that you solve with your clients. Beyond just putting them through a great workout in the gym, people come to you for a reason, whether it's someone to lose 10 kilos over the next 12 weeks for a wedding, or whether someone wants to build 5 kilos of muscle, insert whatever their problem is. Do they feel skinny? Do they feel fat and out of shape? Are they unhappy with what they see in the mirror? They have a problem. And remember, guys, that people come to you primarily because they're in pain. And when you look at marketing, you have to understand that people are more likely to take action out of pain than they are towards a pleasure. Maybe you've come to listen to us today because you're currently in pain right now. You've got a problem yourself. You want more clients. You want more leads. That's why you're listening to where we're coming from today, what we're giving you today. So think about the problem that your clients face. Then think about the promise you can give them. So think realistically, where could you get someone in, say, 12 weeks time on average based on the people you work with? And then think about the process that you use to get them there. So for example, if you want to write this down as an idea, even just a subtle shift from selling a block of 12 PT sessions in the gym, you can start to sell a 12-week transformation program that has workout plans on a My PT Hub or app of choice, a weekly check-in. There might be a WhatsApp group or a Facebook group where you put all your clients together. Insert all your features and deliverables, but the final part is, and best part, we meet once a week for an in-person PT session. So you see how it's much more focused around, hey, I'm going to use my program to help you lose 12 kilos in the next 12 weeks, rather than, hey, buy my block of 12 sessions and let's see where we go with this. And the thing about this, the best part is you can actually charge more and get people to pay in full. I know a lot of people will recommend that you get people to pay monthly for personal training, and I would definitely write this down. Money now is money promised. Money later is not money promised. So for example, if you've got someone right there in front of you that is ready to do coaching and they say they're going to pay on a monthly basis, the only money that's actually guaranteed is the money they pay on that day. If you get someone to pay in full for 12 weeks, 6 months, 12 months in advance, that money is guaranteed to your business. So it's a safer way of you running your business. The client gets a better result because they're more invested, and it's easier to market because it's better word of mouth, because you become known for your program, not just known for selling personal training. That in a nutshell would be how I approach selling programs, not packages.
Spot on there. I mean, the problem side of things is so huge, right? Identifying what that problem is and then resolving that and having a clear process as to how you're going to do that. And that leads nicely into the second point, right, around sales.
Yeah, I think it's often a lack of confidence in sales. And I think most PTs are always trying to avoid how to come across salesy or sleazy. If you can relate, then maybe put a me in the Zoom chat. And an example I put here, whether it's buying a TV at Best Buy, Walmart, whether it's buying it at Tesco's, wherever you are in the world, right? When you go into a shop, there's a reason why when someone comes up to you and they say, hey, do you want some help? And even if you do want to buy a TV or a phone in Apple, you're still like naturally inclined to say, no, I'm fine, thank you, I'm just looking. And then what that starts to do is create something in your mind where you start to think as a health coach, as a PT, as an online coach, that there's something wrong with selling or being sold to. And it comes down to the approach, because once you fall in love with sales, you become a better coach and you get better at helping people. I was only talking to one of my clients earlier about this, trying to get her to understand that, guys, do you really think that someone's going to have a life-changing transformation, having a chat with you in the changing rooms at the gym, or having a chat with you in the DMs on Instagram? Or are they going to actually finally take action and achieve a goal when they pay you their money, come into your program, you work with them for 6 to 12 months and actually have a chance to change their life? So understanding that even right now, I'm selling to you on the idea of sales, right? One of the things you've got to understand about sales as well is that you're either selling or you're being sold to. And this doesn't just come from a great book, by the way, called Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone. I would write that down and check that out after the session. But it's just the mindset shift that even just down to your friends and family. Right now it's 4:00 on a Friday night. I might have a conversation with my wife in a bit about what we have for dinner. And she might be trying to sell me on getting a Chinese. I might be trying to sell her on getting a pizza. Sales is a way of life. It's part of what we do. And I promise you that you look at a Tony Robbins, you look at some of the best in the Gary V, like some big names in the influencer and the coaching space. They're incredible salespeople. The president, prime minister, again, wherever you are, these people are selling you on an idea to take an action. And the only way to get better at sales is getting the reps in. So one nugget I would give you is to connect with other personal trainers after this session and go and do some role play. Take one of your friends at the gym through a taster session and get some practice under your belt, because the only way you're going to get better at sales is through practice and educating yourself. So if you've never read a book about sales, if you've never done any basic sales training, if you just YouTube how to sell, there's multiple videos and TED Talks to start with. But sales is such an integral part of, like I said, not just making you more sales and more money, but actually making you a better coach and getting your clients to take more action.
Yeah, absolutely. It leads that problem to becoming, you've got to understand that problem in a whole holistic view to then move into this second section, right? And understand how to solve that and then sell the resolution for that, right? Which is, how do you approach those clients?
Well, I think approaching clients is often a tough part. When you start as a PT, and maybe you guys can relate, you walk out on the gym floor on that first day, that first time that you've been asked to be there, and it's scary, right? And I think it's the biggest and best example I can give you is when you think about the dating scene. Your friend who's not afraid to go and walk up to girls or guys in a bar and start a conversation eventually meets their future husband or wife because they didn't have that fear factor of what's the worst case scenario. Like what if someone like turns around and pushes me away or tells me to, that I'm interrupting their workout, right? But I do think, guys, that when you stop, and I want you to do this right now, just think, what is the worst case scenario? When you go up to someone in the gym, what is really going to happen? They might just turn around and say, I'm really sorry, I'm just training right now, I'm not interested, or I've got a personal trainer, or would you mind coming back to me later? But one of the best ways you can approach people is ask permission, and then it's on them. So a line that you can write down is, hey, walk up to them, hey, sorry to interrupt your workout. Do you mind if I make a suggestion? And just that one liner is saying, do you mind if I make a suggestion? The minute they say, no, not a problem, go ahead, then it's completely on them if they get their back up about whatever you then say. Okay, so I use something called the, I won't say it out loud, but the sandwich approach, right? Which essentially is you sandwich a negative in between two positives. Example might be, hey, dude, I just wanted to say that your squat is massive. So you're clearly very strong. I've noticed that your knees are coming in at the bottom, but you know what? Like, you've got big legs, so you're clearly doing something right. When you approach someone like that in the gym, especially guys, it triggers something where they're like, they only hear the bit in between, because it's sandwiched with something positive. It strikes up the conversation quite nicely. And I would use this amongst something called the clipboard method. So what I do is I get my guys to get a clipboard, write down some names and numbers on the board. They can be fake or real. And when you walk around the gym and you walk up to someone, you can say, hey, look, when was the last time you saw one of us? And they say, what do you mean? You're like, oh, one of the trainers. Like, how long have you been a member of the gym? And when they tell you that, they usually say, I never saw someone, probably a year ago, years ago, you go, this is crazy. You're meant to see someone on a regular basis. Let's get you booked in. You don't tell them it's for a PT taster session. You could call it what you want. A free assessment, you can call it a complimentary session, whatever. And that's your opportunity to get people booked in very quickly. So it works very, very well. And as Josh has said, he loves the sandwich method too. Last two things, guys. I want you to wrap up the PT side of things. Think like a busy restaurant, okay? When you're on holiday and you're walking down the promenade on the beachfront or wherever you are, there's loads of restaurants. And why is it that we are more inclined to hang around behind the one with the big queue than the one that's empty with, you could get a table very quickly, very easily? That's because when you see a busy restaurant, you trust that it must be good. So a hack for you, if you don't have many personal training clients right now, or maybe you're halfway to getting fully booked, my massive hack and suggestion would be start doing more tasters, whether that's get your friends and family into the gym on some trial sessions, trial memberships, speak to your membership team to get them in. And what you do is you get seen as a busy restaurant, because when you're seen to be training people, they're like, they don't know if those guys are paying you or not. But where you get seen to be busy, you then get held in higher esteem. And then it means you're more likely to land clients off the back of it, because people will start to think that you are busier than you are in the beginning. Eventually, you'll switch those out for paying clients. And then your whole in-person PT business grows much quicker. But you've got to lead with serving over selling. And if you focus on just helping people, that is probably one of the easiest hacks to grow your personal training business, because it comes from a place of abundance and wanting to help people and not just make more money, which is a side effect of impacting more lives after all.
Yeah, I absolutely love that approach as well. That service first. That's so valuable, especially when you're moving into, like, as we move forward now into hybrid coaching and online as well. So we'll establish those in a moment. I guess number 4 will highlight how that needs to be done in a more creative way to make sure that you're still hitting those. We come on to operating services later on, but absolutely, time management is key here, right?
Well, when you progress into the online space, so for any of you guys that have got online clients, as well as what you do in the gym floor, time management is massive. It is massive, whether it's your online or not, any business you run. We all know that. But success leaves clues, and the busiest, most successful business people are thinking and operating with a CEO mindset. And I want you guys to think about this right now today. Stop identifying as just a personal trainer or just a fitness coach. Like, the minute you decide to go self-employed or start taking on clients, or especially when you start to make money online, you are a CEO of your own business. You're a business owner, and you need to act like one and operate like one. And you look at the highest operating business people, CEOs, entrepreneurs, they've actually realized that the more structure they have in their life, the more freedom it gives them. And I know that might seem quite ironic, but when you think about that, if you block out time for when you're going to create content, when you're going to do your PTs in the gym, and this is coming from somebody who was building 50 to 60 online clients while still doing about 40 to 50 hours at the gym every single week. I was creating content as I was walking to my car, editing content in my car. Like, I've been there, I get it. But time management becomes so crucial when you create that hybrid approach, when you start to move online. And when you look at your diary, you want about 80 to 90% of what you do blocked out. Leave a little bit of white space for emergencies. And I'm talking everything from when you're going to train, when you're going to travel, when you're going to see your friends and family, when you're going to create content, and it has to be structured in that way. And then also the thing to understand around that time blocking is, what are you doing with your current available time? Well done for you guys, by the way. You're actually using your time to work on your business and not in your business. But what do you do when a PT client cancels? Do you stand around? Do you chat to the guys at the gym desk? Do you go and speak to the same members you spoke to 100 times? Or do you actually work your way around the room and maybe create some content or go and do some lead generation for your online business? You want to ditch that 9-to-5 mindset when you start to build the online income. Okay, increasing prices. So again, what's your worst case scenario? As you start to move online, you're in a position of power, basic supply and demand. So most PTs are probably undercharging anyway. You might be undercharging right now. And if you think you are, then that in itself is a sign that it's time to look at what you're pricing and not just your price, to what you charge, but also how you value yourself as a coach. Because you want to increase your value as you increase your price. So if you have now progressed and you've added like an app like My PT Hub, or you've added new deliverables to your business where people don't just get the one-to-one session, like I said right at the beginning, selling programs, not packages, you actually really want to think about how do you start to add value as you increase your price. Because most people go wrong. I see a lot of personal trainers go wrong when it comes to increasing their prices and starting to add an online income. They assume that people are going to continue. And I don't care if you've had clients for 1 month, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. At some point, they might be in their mindset of moving along. So never assume that they're going to continue with you. And likewise, on the flip side, guys, if you are going to increase your prices as you start to move online, don't be afraid to lose some clients along the way. I know it can be scary at the time and you've got bills to pay, but ultimately, that person that no longer sees value in you and what you do, which is essentially what it is, you then allow them time to free up time for new people to come in. And that can actually be a good thing. So you end up working with the right people.
Sure. This is a really valuable, I mean, we could go in on this for an hour straight on just pricing, right? Which is just so valuable, this insight, because most people, when they transition on towards an online sort of strategy, typically tend to drop their price a little bit because they tend to find that they're in this much more competitive market and they need to stand out. And how do you do that? The first port of call might be, my price point. I could actually just, I can get underneath my biggest competition in the market. Where you're absolutely right, Dan. Losing customers it's not always a bad thing.
Yeah, I agree. And I think not to, but whether it's Sarah or Sarah in the Zoom chat, just to say that, like she said, trainers are walking businesses, right? And I think it's just understanding that every other business isn't afraid to increase their prices, but it's like personal trainers are forced to play by different rules. Sure. That just isn't the case. Okay, so learning how to promote your services. So guys, if you want to start transitioning online and making money in person and online, document before you create. Don't get bogged down with spending hours on Canva or hours editing videos. Just start to document the stuff you already do. And the best hack I've got for you is just share the stuff that you do that makes your life better, how health and fitness has made your life better, and start to document that on social media. Where most coaches go wrong is they don't add the why behind what they do. So if you are going to share your beautiful looking breakfast, your bowl of overnight porridge, just make sure you explain why you're having what you're doing. Because that leads on to creating content and then bringing people in through running like free challenges. One of the best things that we get our clients to do are run free challenges where they encourage people to work with them for free online. You get to test your skills and then you actually get to, experience what it's like to have clients online as well. Another point is showcase your in-person results online. Don't think that just because you help somebody lose weight in the gym and it wasn't online, that it doesn't mean you can't share those results online. And what I mean by that is you're not going to claim that came from your online coaching, but you're going to claim that is something you help someone do because you help them do it. Because I see a lot of trainers go wrong when they move online. They feel like they can't share the results they got in person because it wasn't achieved online, but that person has still worked with you under the business. And as long as you're clear about that, it just showcases that you can get people results. And the last 2 points are make it easy for people to apply. Have a call to action in your bio on Instagram, have a link in your bio. And as for changing up your marketing, just make sure that in your bio that if you do want to get clients online as a PT, you're not advertising yourself as a personal trainer. Instead, advertise yourself as a fitness coach and don't mention whether it's online or in person. Base it on if someone reaches out to you. If they're in your local town, sell them into PT. If they're on the other side of the world, you can sell them into online coaching. So let it be based on location at that point.
Yeah, it's a nice segue. I think as well, and that was it gives you a footprint on the online space that is kind of like this evergreen service, right? So you can sell one to one or one to many. You've always got something available for somebody to buy from you, whether it's, as you say, one to one in the gym that's local to you, or whether it's on the other side of the planet. So, very quickly here, guys, because I'm very conscious of the time, and Dan's given some great insights here. Just a few highlighted areas of my PT Hub that can help you get those programs to market. So we already, once you've created your package that you want to sell, which would have your programming inside, we give you links to be able to put that under any buttons that you want on your website. We've got a Google Ads integration here, so you can market super simple. You know, I don't know whether anybody's seen Google Ads, but you can get lost in it. But we put a really nice, simple interface on that so that you can get up and running quickly and simply. You know, you've got a lot of custom branding opportunities there as well within the product. But getting back to your point, Dan, we're moving into the online space now. So we've focused on the face-to-face or the one-to-one. We've taken that step into the online world. And I guess the first things first with online coaching is knowing when to walk away.
Yeah, like I said, and I'll pick up the pace because I'm conscious of the time, guys. So any questions, just start putting them in the chat now. So walking away from the gym floor, right? Is it time to burn the boats? So what I mean by that is it the right time for you to step away? And sometimes for some people, they need to take the plan B off the table because then they never focus on plan A. And you can either try and match your current income in the gym, or you can get it to a point where you are just so fed up with where you're at in person to where you want to go online. I would just say that if you can, though, give yourself a bit of a buffer financially. Some people don't need that. Some people just need to pull the rug and just go all out. For me personally, I matched my current income, and that's when I moved online. But I would say if you don't like social media, don't bother. And I know that's a bit of a blanket statement. But I just want to make it clear, guys, that in terms of like, a big integral part of growing an online business will be social media. It blows my mind when I speak to some coaches who want to make money online, and I say, how many times a week are you posting, or how many times a week are you willing to post? They're like, oh, maybe like 2 or 3 times a week. And for me, considering if that's going to be like your primary source of lead generation, I just don't think that's a big enough commitment. So for me, I would say that if you don't enjoy social media, there are other ways to go about it, but it is going to be a huge part of being successful online. And make it fun. Like if you don't enjoy social media right now, maybe it's the approach that you're taking. Like I said on the earlier slide, you're trying to create too much content rather than just document what you already do. As well, in walking away from the gym floor, I want you to start thinking about who, not how. So there's probably somebody that you know, even in your like personal circle, that has probably moved online or knows someone that moved fully online. Reach out to them on Instagram, whether that's me or whether that's a friend or a friend of the family, or someone in your PT or a friend you went to school with, or just somebody that you follow and respect on social media. Like, stop thinking how to do this. Just find someone that's done the thing you want to do and pick their brains. And there'll probably be a few good first steps to take if you're not obviously already taking them from this call. And final point is get yourself a coach or mentor. This is not just a shameless plug for what I do. I've spent thousands on coaches and mentorships, and I've worked with some of the best in the business. And I first invested in a coach when I was 23 years old. For context, I'm 33 now. That was 10 years ago. I paid them £3,000 over the phone. Scared and excited all at the same time, but then it was the best thing that I ever did. So I definitely do think if you don't have someone in your corner, then strongly consider that right now.
Yeah, hugely. That's a massive. It will get you somewhere that you might be in 5 years, 10 years time, but it will just expedite that process tenfold.
All right, so we've got developing killer content. So you want to become a content creator, guys. When you are using Instagram, I want you to take your personal training hat off and put your content creator hat on. I want you to get vulnerable in your content. So a tip for you right now could be to write down what's maybe like 2 or 3 significant life events you've gone through. A major injury, becoming a parent, maybe getting married, maybe something that happened at school, maybe that's something that happened in your previous job. Like, get vulnerable. That's how people connect with people in a deeper way. And give away your best stuff for free as well. I find that so many personal trainers have a scarce mindset where they're scared to give away their best stuff. But trust me, like, the amount of coaches I've signed up with personally, even when I feel like there's everything I need to learn just from their Instagram or YouTube, there's always more to learn, and it only makes someone feel more connected with you. And beyond anything else, social proof is what sells. Okay, so if you don't have results, one tip I've got for you is find a friend that you've got. Even better if they're like a genetic freak, that maybe they've just got their body fat is a little bit too high, and get them into the best shape of their life. Blast that all over social media, and that could be the very first piece of social proof you use to get started. Or maybe take on some friends that you know, or some people that you know have got a bigger Instagram following than you, and then get them to start training them for free, and then start using their results to start the marketing process. You want to become the go-to guy or girl at what you do. So you want to become an expert. You don't want to be a generalist, and make sure to show, don't tell. So you are just as much of the product as what you sell. So make sure that you, as a coach, are showing up, getting into whether it's the fittest version of you, the strongest version of you, the best physique you can create. That is, of course, going to be proof in the pudding that you practice what you preach with what you do, because you ultimately, you attract who you are when it comes down to it online. Okay, and finally, confidence in service delivery. I want you to think about being the Rolls Royce, the Rolex, or the Four Seasons. So you want to give a 5-star service. It's the smaller touches. It's doing stuff before people even ask for it. And it's how you get world-class results, because you want success stories, guys. Like one of my mentors said to me, and I'm saying it to you right now, when you speak to someone on the phone about selling them your program, you say to them, I don't want more clients. I want success stories, because you do, and you need them. Because in order to get, the next batch of clients, are you just going to have people that come through and get a mediocre experience? Or do you need people that are raving fans about what you do, and they're only going to be that way because of the kind of crazy results you got them? And if you need to, get yourself a coach and still not copy what they do. So if you've never been on the other side of even having your own fitness coach, I hired a fitness coach back in the start. I learned the way that they coached me. I took what I didn't like, I took what I did like, and I took a lot of that into my own business. And I honestly believe a lot of my success came from me being on the other side of being coached. So if you've never had a coach yourself, you'll really struggle in selling and serving people as an online coach. So that's one of the top tips to take away from getting some fast track confidence in your service delivery.
Absolutely.
Last one, creating systems to manage your, I've moved that away. Creating systems to manage your business. So daily SOPs, the jobs you hate, I really want you to either delegate them, delete them, or do them. So if you don't like creating content and you've given it 90 days, then find someone that does and you pay them, or you stop doing it and you accept that online maybe isn't for you, or you suck it up and you do it yourself. But those are your options when it comes to the jobs you hate. And when you have your SOPs, like your daily non-negotiables, whether that's content creation, generating leads, sending DMs, expanding your network, leaving comments, getting in front of other people, even just down to like delivering your coaching, you've always got to remember that it's either going to be something that in the beginning that typically you do, and then later down the line, you either remove it from the business if it isn't actually generating income or results, or you delegate it, which typically happens later down the line. But my final tip on this stuff is have a list of to-dos, preferably starting like retention-based tasks first. So I'll wake up every morning and I'll message all of my clients. Then I'll move to lead generation. Then I'll move to content creation. So it means that if nothing happens today and I fall unwell or sick or I get busy, I've done the highest priority task first, which is look after the business you've got first before moving on to the business you want later. So always protect the customers you've got. It'd be like my PT Hub just driving sales and marketing, but not investing time and effort back into the business. And hence why they are where they are now, for focusing on the retention first and then the marketing second.
Absolutely. No, that's really valuable. I really appreciate you saying that, Dan, as well. And it takes us to the end of the session. So thank you all for attending. That was some incredible insight, Dan. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Josh, have we got time for a few questions, or should we take those offline?
No, that's fine. For everyone joining us, this is the exact same Zoom room that we're going to be doing our keynote here shortly. I know Jonah's in the waiting room, so I can bring him on at any point. So, one of the things that we can do is take some questions. You guys have a little bit of a buffer at the end of the keynote as well, Lewis. So it's just gonna,
Okay,
if
great.
you need another 10, 15 minutes, that's totally okay, because the sessions that are coming up later after the keynote, whether it's the brain break or some of those supplier seminars, all those are accessible throughout the conference. So you don't have to worry about missing any of those. So guys, yeah, we've got a little bit of time. We might start the keynote a little bit later, but like I mentioned, all the stuff after the keynote before, and then we go into a break anyway. So we've got a little bit of a buffer. So we wanted to make sure you guys had the time. So yeah, for sure. If there are questions, absolutely, guys, fire away. And then once we take some questions, we'll jump into the keynote and I'll bring Jonah on.
Perfect. That's great. Okay, I'm just going to open up the chat real quick here. My apologies if this is in the way of everything. About the keynote. Reach out to Dan. That's great. Ollie's put a link in there, guys. If anybody wants to catch up with Dan, we've got Dan's Instagram account here for the FBC. It's in the chat there. There's a link in there. You can hop on there. We've also done a case study with Dan. You can catch up all around that. That's also in the chat feature there. I'm just trying to very quickly read through this.
Quick question for you guys. Is there an opportunity for the attendees to get a copy of the presentation in case they wanted to run back through some of the information?
Absolutely. Yeah, we can make that available. We can send it on to you guys. Absolutely. Yeah. There's no problem there.
Yeah, absolutely. If you could send that off to us, we can get it out to all the attendees to make sure they have that in their inboxes for sure. Here's a question that came in, guys, from Meredith. When developing online content, is there a free platform to generate online wellness courses or fitness programs?
When it comes to, is there a free platform to generate online wellness courses or fitness programs? When it comes to generating online courses, it's not something that my PT Hub necessarily gets involved with, because we're the tool, if you like, that sort of sits there and facilitates that engagement piece. I don't know, Dan, whether you've engaged with any of these previously.
Yeah, I think that one of the ways to bootstrap it in the beginning, guys, would be what we did was as simple as just recording some videos and putting them unlisted on YouTube. Like, so we go through like the levels, right? In the beginning, one of the rules I've got, and I would write this down, is like you never say anything more than once. Okay, so to scale your business, especially online, what I suggest you do is, like, let's say every time a new client comes in, you have to explain to them how to use MyFitnessPal, or how to track their calories and macros, or why having a step goal is so important, or why they need to drink 3 liters of water a day. You record those as videos, and you can actually record them on Zoom like this. Just hit record, put them up on YouTube, unlisted, and even just sending your clients like some links, or having some quick links ready, like to give them, like as they join your program. That would be one way to kind of bootstrap a course, so to speak. Or you could even just put them all into like a Google Drive and send them a Google Drive, make the folders that say week 1 right down to week 12. And that could be like a bootstrap way of creating a course. I use software such as like Podia, Podia, Kajabi, which is more comprehensive and a slightly higher price point, but there's a lot you can do on Kajabi. That's what I use to host the courses that I build inside FBC. And also I built a fitness course inside MF UK, which is my fitness business as well. So I'd say in the beginning, though, just focus on like nailing down the framework of what you want to teach. And if you've never created a course before, one of the best ways to go about it, in my experience, is focus on like the problems that your people face, and then the solutions in the form of like what you teach, and then put them in chronological order based on what you want them to know, like in the beginning, and then obviously naturally work your way down. But just make sure you have that rule of like never saying anything more than once when delivering your coaching. So you don't always want to be answering, oh, like, does it matter if I switch out chicken for turkey or eggs for a protein shake? Record a video about that, stick it on YouTube, unlisted, and then send them the link as and when the question comes up. So instead of you doing a quick reply, it could be like a 5 to 10 minute YouTube, which is going to get way better results for your clients. I think Lewis, Jessica asked the question as well.
Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, so isn't there an ability to create your own courses on My PT Hub? Well, that would be better if you answered that.
Yeah, I can take that one, no problem. So yeah, you can do it. we're not set up directly for that, but you certainly can do that in a magnitude of ways. So we enable you to create any sort of files or forms that you want to upload to the software. So that could be in the form of video content, as Dan rightly said. It could be through infographics or ebooks, white papers, anything like that that you want to. You can upload that to the software, and then you can put that into a delivery program, and it would just drip feed that content through to your clients as and when you want them to get that content over 8, 12 weeks, however you want to do that. So we're not directly set up to do it, but you can certainly do it through the platform.
And I would say in more along the lines of, if you're doing it in that initial like bootstrapped way and you want to get it going, I would probably put the files in my PT Hub, and then just make sure, guys, because I think, again, where I see a lot of personal trainers go wrong is they build these elaborate courses and programs behind the scenes, maybe even worse, spend a lot of money doing it, take it to market, and then it falls flat. But actually what you're better off doing is finding out from your clients what they want, what they need, and then build as you go. So if you find that, every single time someone gets to the second week of my program, they always ask these same 5 questions, that then becomes your framework for week 2. Rather than you thinking what you think is important in week 2, base it off of what your clients think, because they will always tell you everything you need to know around the structure of a course or a program. And if you can, put some friends and family through it first, get them to stress test it, and then obviously take it to the market, and then worry about spending time and money on building this stuff out. So yeah, I hope that helps.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Lewis, what do you think? Should we jump over to your keynote with Jonah?
Yeah, sure. No, that's great. No, thanks very much for joining us, Dan. That was really insightful. I really hope that everybody enjoyed that. Any final words, Dan, from you?
No, just make sure to give me a follow on Instagram at Fitness Business Coaching, and up on the screen right now, just you can go listen to the podcast, the Real Impact, Real Income podcast, everything from in-person to hybrid to online coaching, getting more clients, helping more people, having a bigger impact ultimately. So yeah, no, that's been fun, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Dan, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, Dan.
All right, take care.